Good morning, Miss Debbie.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good, and how are you?
Fine, thanks. Welcome to St. Lucie County History Museum.
Thank you very much. Yes, I would love to hear about it.
Well, our museum that we're in right now
Yes.
is set up chronologically.
Yes.
We start with the first people indigenous in our area were the A's Indians.
Yes.
And they were hunters and gatherers. So when they would fish, they would use all parts of the fish. So they would make necklaces.
Wow.
They would make tools.
Yes.
Here's some of the tools that they made out of some of the things that they would hunt and gather from the area.
Wow.
Those are actually fish hooks made of deer bones so that they would fish with.
And these are made by the Indians.
Made by the Indians, the A's Indians. They were our first Indians.
Oh,
yes.
They were the first Indians.
It's spelled A-I-S. Let me show you. It'll be here somewhere. We just got to find it real quick. Do you see? Here it is. A-I-S. The A's Indians.
Okay, yes.
And what happened is they eventually became extinct because as European settlers came over and they brought with them diseases. And unfortunately, we have no longer any descendants of the A's Indians.
Oh, I see.
So, then many people are also very interested in our 1715 treasure fleet.
Yes, and can you tell me what that is?
Yes, so because we are known as the Treasure Coast, because there were a dozen Spanish galleons that came over here to gather all kinds of jewels and things. And inside here, I'll show you some of where they got it.
Okay.
So you can come in here.
Thank you.
So they came from Spain because Spain had been in a lot of wars and their coffers were depleted. So they came to get gold and emerald and pearls and silver and all kinds of things. They gathered up all of these treasures and then they kind of regrouped in Havana and then they would come up the Treasure Coast to go back to Spain.
Wow.
But when they were right here, there was a huge hurricane.
Oh.
And so all but one sank. And the one didn't follow the orders and they went a little bit to the south and up and that one made it back. But all the others died. Galleons sunk and there's lots of treasures still out in the coast. There's been about half of them discovered. This is a replica of what one of the Spanish galleons would have looked like.
Okay.
This would have been either the lead ship or the end ship because we can see all the cannons here to protect.
Wow. Interesting.
In the bottom of the ship, here's a picture, they have lots of rocks, which are called in the baluster to steady the ship.
Yes.
And here are some that are recovered from our own shores.
Really?
This is not native to Florida, so we know that those are from the Spanish galleons.
Yes.
So these are all baluster. So if you're out in the ocean and you see a bunch of these kind of rocks, you know there's probably a treasure ship crash nearby.
Wonderful. Thank you for that information, Miss Debbie.
Yes. And these are some of the cannons and the anchors that came out of those ships. You can notice the difference between the two.
Yes.
This is pretty rough. This one came right out of the ocean and then into the museum. Okay. We've learned.
Yeah.
So now what we do is we actually put them in an acid bath. 1 year for every 100 years that they were submerged.
Okay.
And it's up in northern Florida, like Jacksonville, and then they are much more preserved. And as you can see, the difference between the two. So that's that. In here, you'll see some of the things that they've recovered from the ships. And as you may be aware that many people actually buy the licenses to parts of the ocean to recover some of the treasures.